Hello and welcome to another edition of 310 to Left. It's brought to you by your New England Ford dealers, the official truck of the Red Sox. Tom Karen along with Alex Spear in Monterrey, Mexico. The first international edition of 310 to Left. Are you excited?
It's going big. It's going big.
We are going global. We're happy to be here.
310.
Sí.
A la izquierda.
Bueno. How am I doing?
Yeah,
have I said anything
right.
wrong yet?
I
think
we're
I've
going
answered those
strong.
correctly.
I probably have.
Looked around the ballpark here. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Nearly 22,000 seats, biggest baseball stadium in Mexico. Really fun atmosphere for baseball.
Yeah, this is viewed as like absolutely one of the really terrific ballparks in Latin America. It is a popular choice for instance, the Caribbean series when they choose different international destinations. And not only is it a beautiful ballpark with 20,000 seats, but the backdrop is also pretty fascinating when you have not the Disneyfied mountains of Anaheim, but instead like real mountains in the distance. It's a cool landscape that we're a part of right now.
And a great batter's eye, which is why Alex Bregman said, no, I want to go, man.
Yeah.
It's a great place to hit. I want to hit and get fired up for the season.
Well, I suppose that, you want to feel good entering the season, so you might as well be able to see the ball well.
It's an interesting series in that they're playing a Mexican team, Sultanes de Monterrey, not like last year when we went to the Dominican and they took on the Tampa Bay Rays. So in a lot of ways, for the Red Sox, this is all about them planting their flag in Monterrey. They are the team of the hour here in Mexico.
It definitely gives them an opportunity. The Red Sox have, on many occasions, talked about their interest in furthering the international reach of Major League Baseball. They are back. They're putting their actions to those words, right? We've seen it in London in 2019. Obviously, last year we saw it in the Dominican. That was viewed as such a positive experience that they kind of raised their hands for doing it again this year in Mexico, particularly given that this is a very short flight to Arlington, Texas.
That said, it will be a night game and a very short flight to Arlington, Texas. That will happen very late at night. I'm told because of the turf, there was no real chance to play a day game on the back end of this, that it would be 120 degrees on the field, and you really can't do that to anybody. So it'll be a slightly earlier game. But nonetheless, it does pose some logistical challenges going into the start of the season for this team.
Yeah, well, I mean, the spring training schedule is such a weird thing anyway, right? Like, players are preparing to play a season in which everything is going to be happening at night and in which teams employ armies of sports scientists one of whose central message is get sleep, get a good night of sleep. And instead, baseball is structured in order to be able to upend these rhythms of everything that players are doing. It's a little bit absurd, and yet this is kind of because of various regulations in cities across Florida and Arizona, we're locked into this somewhat anachronistic structure. So here we are.
Don't take away my day games at spring training. Don't take away my happy hour in Florida, all right? That's the 6 weeks that we get to lead a normal life, get up in the morning and go to bed at night. It's unusual for all of us.
That's fair.
When you look around the city of Monterrey, it's a 5 million plus metro area. We got to do a little bit of touring. You were the tour guide today. Thank you for that. What have you learned about this city?
Well, it seems to be beautiful. First of all, despite the fact that it is very populated, it's not overcrowded. It was I found it to be a very enjoyable walking city and very. The
Riverwalk was very nice.
The Riverwalk was gorgeous. I think there's a really cool integration of its kind of industrial history with modern art sensibilities. So the colors and styles are really cool and different from what we're accustomed to seeing in a lot of places where we go.
By the way, fun fact, the Sultanes were at one point called the Industriales, and then they went back to the Sultanes.
Well, whether or not that represents progress or a backward step in human civilization, that's up for debate.
Or like so many things, a little bit of both. For the Red Sox, a lot of guys are excited to be here. None more than Kristian Campbell. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But there are guys with connections here. Walker Buehler's not here.
Yeah.
He pitched, started the no-hitter that was thrown here, right?
Incredible.
In a regular season game.
Yeah, well, so he certainly has a history, but apparently didn't feel a need to come here for the in-person revisitation thereof. But it is really fascinating to hear some of the players talk about a kind of keen interest in understanding what's going on. Like I just saw Roman Anthony and Alex Cora talking about the dynamics of players who play in the Mexican winter and who play in Mexico, whether during the season or in winter ball. Marcelo Mayer is super enthusiastic about it because he has family members who have played in the Mexican League, and he is very familiar with the passion for sports that exists throughout Mexico as someone who has family members of Mexican descent.
Yeah, he comes back to Mexico often to see those family members, very proud of his Mexican heritage. I spoke with Marcelo Mayer and Brennan Bernardino, who pitched in the Mexican League, for a little insight into what baseball in Mexico is all about. Let's hear from them on 310 to Left, presented by your New England Ford dealers, the official truck of the Red Sox. Obviously growing up in California, but Mexican heritage. Kind of cool that the Red Sox are going to Mexico.
Yeah, it's super awesome. Obviously, I don't know if I'm going yet, but it'd be really exciting to play there.
Tell a little about, like, I've read some stuff, your dad sort of, and your mom made sure that you sort of knew a little bit about the heritage. Like, how much did that mean as a kid growing up? What did that mean to you?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, in my household, we speak mainly Spanish. Both of my parents, all of my family is really from Mexico, so I'm there every Christmas. Anytime I'm home and we get a chance to go over there, we're there. I pretty much live like 15 minutes from the border of Tijuana also, so any chance we get to go over there, we make sure we do it.
Understanding that the fajitas we eat in Boston are probably not authentic Mexican food. Any advice for someone going down there? Like, what's your favorite Mexican dish?
I mean, there's a lot. I think my favorite's pollo mole, which I don't think a lot of Americans would like it because it's a unique taste. It's pretty much like a chocolate sauce, which sounds kind of gross. But that's definitely my favorite dish. And then obviously like tacos, you got to try that over there, burritos, all that fun stuff. You
heavy on the spice? Do you like the spice?
Yeah, I love spicy food. Yeah, have to.
Talk about second base real quick. You've been talking to everybody about it. Just how different is it? Like, what are the toughest adjustments when you played most of your time at short? Maybe toughest isn't the right word, right? But the learning points. Like, what do you work on the most?
Yeah, I think it's just different angles, different approach to ground balls. I think the biggest thing, a ground ball is a ground ball wherever you play, right? The biggest thing is turning double plays. It's a little bit different compared to the left side of the infield. But I mean, as an athlete, you figure it out pretty quickly. As an infielder my whole life, it's something that I'm extremely comfortable doing at this point. So it's really not that big of an adjustment.
Having Story over there helps a little, doesn't it? He
Yeah,
kind of makes everybody a little easier.
Yeah, he's the man.
Talking about that work, though, the relationship, obviously. Guys who've worked with Trevor will tell you, like, it happens so quickly because he's so good at getting you the ball in the right place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously that was the first time I shared the field with him up the middle. We were really excited about it. And just seeing the way that he communicates in the infield, the way that he goes about his business before the game, it's super exciting. And, you definitely... You're kind of like mesmerized about the way that he goes about his business.
Awesome. A lot of people are going to watch Monday, Tuesday, probably get their first look at Mexican baseball. You lived it. What was that experience like for you? I know it was like a really important sort of part of your maturation, your growth, right?
Yeah, it was a huge part of my growth. Mexico baseball's fun. The fans love baseball, very passionate. There's music playing the whole time. It's going to be a good time, and I'm really excited for my teammates to experience it.
Loud?
Very loud, very loud. Loud music, a lot of dancing.
Did that, it's a different kind of loud, right? The music, the dancing, everything. But did that make sort of your early major league appearances, you're kind of used to the noise because of that in part?
Yeah, I mean, there's music playing as you're coming set, right after the play's done or the pitch is done. If the ball's not put in play, the music's going again. Like, it's a loud atmosphere, and you kind of got to, like, drown it out as a player.
For you, at that point, you're trying to build a career. What was the experience like? Where was it a place where you could sort of enjoy playing the game? What was that for you?
I mean, I would still say it's one of my favorite places to play baseball. It helped me a lot. The players, the veterans, the coaches, there it was like the minor leagues kind of develop. But once you get over there, it's the big leagues. It's the Mexican big leagues, so you got to win. So it kind of taught me how to try to help my team win ball games.
What's that stadium like? What's that Monterrey like?
It's a beautiful stadium. It's a big stadium. It's loud. The fans really get into it. The good team. It's a good team. Sultanas is a good team. It's kind of my rival team. When I play out there, I play for Toros, and that's kind of our rival. So we've cleared benches there a couple of times. So I'm happy to go back with a different team. But yeah,
better on this side of it, right? Nice to be the major league side of it.
It's nice to be on the major leagues. If we clear benches, we're just gonna have to. But no, just fine. But
you got Veritas. You stay behind Veritas.
Yeah, no. But I got friends on that team, and I'm excited to see them. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Dave O'Brien rejoined us here in Mexico for these two games. He's been off doing a lot of March Madness, a lot of Cooper Flag coverage, as he did a lot of Duke games over the course of the past season. But he'll be with Lou Merloni for the majority of the games on NESN this year. We can't wait to hear them together more and more. And in fact, we couldn't wait. They sat down with me to talk about this trip to Mexico, opening day in Texas, and the season ahead. It's the NESN broadcast team of Dave O'Brien and Lou Merloni on 310 to Left, brought to you by your New England Ford dealers, the official truck of the Red Sox. Opening day is Thursday in Texas, but first a little business here at Estadio Mobile Super. The guys calling these games and calling so many games this coming season, the NESN Red Sox team, Dave O'Brien, Lou Merloni. Lou, this is an interesting couple of days. Always fun when you do something like this. There's excitement. There's a different flair to the game, but so close to the real thing. What you're really hoping is everybody gets through this healthy and moves on to Texas.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been last weekend. Maybe it would have made everything a little smoother, but still, it's nice coming here. Listen, they love baseball here in Mexico, especially here in Monterrey, so this place is going to be banged out. It's going to be loud. I think the area, they're going to love this game, the players. They get a few more at-bats, right, without consequences. Maybe continue to work on some things. And Richard Fitz on the mound as well. So it's just another exhibition game for them before the real thing starts on Thursday.
This tells you a lot about Alex Bregman, too. We were chatting coming over. Bregman very much wanted to be here because he loves the batter's eye, loves to hit in the ballpark. I mean, you talk about a dog, an all-out dog, a baseball dog. That's Alex Bregman. That tells you all about his personality.
OB, you've been parachuting into spring training a little bit and around March Madness and the Cooper Flag coast-to-coast tour. You know, you talk to a lot of people who are outside the Red Sox bubble about the Red Sox. With Bregman here, with the pitching here, is there a different outlook from out there about this team?
It's amazing. And I think I told you this, TC, coming back from all the games, basketball games I did down south, the number of Red Sox fans who would come up, and I thought they wanted to talk about Duke basketball or North Carolina basketball. They could have cared less about that. They wanted to talk about the Red Sox. And every single time, it was 4 or 5 fans, 10 or 12 fans every game wanted to talk about the Sox. The genuine enthusiasm and excitement about this season is so refreshing. It's so nice to go into a season knowing the Red Sox are a good team, and now how far are they going to go in postseason play?
We felt that in Fort Myers. It was a different buzz, really, from the workouts before the games. Bigger crowds for the workouts, just more excitement.
Well, it should be, because it's a much better team. You know, in years past, they were just sort of paper thin. You know, they were injury 2 or 3 away from really not having enough. This is the one thing that about this team right now. Not only did they go and get high-end talent, Crochet, Buehler, and Bregman, you know, and Chapman out in that bullpen, but they also created some depth. So if there is an injury, you don't feel like the season is over. They've lost 3 starting pitchers, and they had 4 or 5 guys competing for 2 spots still, right? That's pretty good depth, and you know they have it in the position player side too.
And that's the difference, right? You've added top talent, but you can withstand some injuries now, where maybe the last couple of years, you know, last year Trevor Story goes down, completely different team after that series in Anaheim.
Sure, and for me in the rotation and in the pitching staff, that's the single biggest part where you need to have depth. And so today we see Richard Fitz going. He's made the club. Likely to go 6 innings today here in Mexico. But that's a guy that, you know, come the regular season, he's going to start the season in rotation. But that wasn't supposed to be the case with Bayo and Giolito hurt. Once they're healthy, and that's going to be quick, he'll be somewhere else. But that's a guy that, you know, May 19th, when you need a starter, you dip in and get a guy. Really helped you last year, and who's capable of doing it at the big league level. That, I think, is exciting, too. There's real depth in the staff.
And injuries, especially in the American League East. As you get rid of it, seems like every day you'd pick up the paper, somebody on another AL East team is going down. It really has made this division wide open, I think.
There's a ton of talent that's left the East, right? And just in free agency with Corbin Burns and Juan Soto, and then you have the news of the injuries that have piled up. I mean, you don't want anybody getting hurt. You want to go out and beat the best. But with the Yankees and Cole and Heel, and now Schmidt starting on AIL. And then you look at Shane McClanahan that we saw the other day down in Tampa. Well, there's a lot of really high-end talent that have left this division or injured. It's wide open.
Garrett Crochet, opening day. How much are you looking forward to his starts this year?
Well, to me, it reminds me of Chris Sale. It reminds me of Sale days when he was first acquired from the White Sox, and how excited you got every 5 days to go to the ballpark, go to Fenway, and see that guy pitch. This is the same kind of cat, man. He's 6'6", 260, throwing 100 miles an hour. Our fans don't know him at all. Yeah. They don't know Walker Buehler at all. They're going to find out about these guys very quickly, how good they are. But when you've got a Pedro kind of pitcher, when you've got a Chris Sale kind of guy, we just haven't had much of that here in the last few years. He's the real deal. There's a difference, as we talk about all the time, between a number one and an ace. Got a true ace. In fact, probably have two of them that could qualify. Wait till you see Walker Buehler work back to full health.
But the coolest story throughout camp was the battle for second base.
Yeah.
Right? We talked about it day one, and as we're sitting here in Mexico on the back end of it, we know it's Kristian Campbell now. He had the opportunity. He went out and made the most of it, and it wasn't handed to him, right? Like, his bat early on, what'd you say, 1 for 17 was the start at spring, but it got going, and his footwork got better, and we saw him make some plays. He got better as camp went on. Any surprise that he's the second baseman?
No, because from day one, you know, when you're moving Rafael Devers to DH, you're putting Bregman at third, you're not doing that to platoon at second base. You're doing it because you believe in somebody, and we all knew that somebody was Kristian Campbell. And again, you mentioned it started off 1 for 17, striking out. They know the player, they know the hitter, and they were just sort of waiting for him to get going. I still don't think he has. You know, I think the at-bats have gotten better. Obviously, I think there's a lot more there. So we'll see how he starts off. I don't think there's any question he's the right choice moving forward. You hopefully just can come out here in April, young kid, just want to get off to a good start. But he's the real deal. There's no question about it.
And he's great to chat with. We were just at his locker a few minutes ago, and you know he's checking off some major boxes. He makes a major league team. He's going to be the starting second baseman first time in his life, but also he's left the country for the first time in his life. He's 22 years old. You forget they had to expedite his passport because he didn't have one. They had to run it through Miami to make sure he could get here to Mexico. That's pretty cool, too.
Yeah, first time out of the country will be to play a major league game, or at least an exhibition game against Sultanes. All right, that the third base situation, it really was never a situation, right? It was Alex Bregman. They went and got him. Is that going to be an issue at all this season? Do you think Devers accepts his role, or does this become a story we're talking about over and over again?
I think, you know, you've got a Gold Glover there at third base. You've got a great player there at third base. He's going to elevate that position. The Red Sox need to elevate themselves defensively. He's going to do that. I think that's when any lingering controversy goes by the wayside. I had a game in spring training with Will Middlebrooks where Rafi's name was announced and he came out in the starting lineup and he got a big ovation at JetBlue. So I think it has moved to the back burner. I don't think it's simmering anymore.
Yeah, I do think that. I don't think Devers is happy. Okay, it's just, but he's accepting it, right? Like, I think he wants to play third base, but he's accepting it. Now, he's got to figure out the routine. Being a designated hitter doesn't come easy to everybody. You worry about at-bats, and you carry a bat, you know, from one to the next because you can't lose. You know, when you go out defensively, you sort of change your focus. Well, he's not going to be able to do that anymore. So it'll be a little bit of an adjustment, but I think he's accepted the role. He knows what makes the team better. And I think you're going to go out there and you're going to see Rafi Devers swing the bat and stay healthy.
But I will say this. I think when that controversy bubbled up and Rafi said, I'm the third baseman and all of that, I was home for a couple of days back in Boston, and it was all anybody was talking about. And we're talking about, 6 inches of snow on the ground, and that's what everyone's talking about. To me, that meant the Red Sox were back in relevancy and enthusiasm, and people were interested and curious. It might not have been all positive. It rarely is in Boston, but I mean, that was pretty cool to see that was the number one story in the city.
It had been a while. It's been a while since they've had, somebody told me they talked about 3 hours on the radio that morning. Yeah, it's been a long time since baseball's been the big conversation. All right, you guys settling in here to the games. Lou, you are the primary analyst for the Red Sox. Kid who grew up in Framingham, got to wear the uniform, now settles in. How cool is that?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's like, sometimes it's kind of humbling, too, thinking I got this responsibility, right? Because for me, I grew up watching the Red Sox and listening to guys. And I mean, Jerry Remy was the classic, right? And now it's like they entrust you to be the guy in that booth talking about the game, talking about the Red Sox. So for me, it's a thrill. It's a dream come true. So I couldn't be happier, and I'm excited to get it going here with Dave.
I thought for years, TC, and we've talked about this, Jerry Remy, we all love Jerry. We adore Jerry. That's Lou. That's Lou's story, too. I mean, growing up in New England, growing up, living and dying with the Red Sox, playing for the Red Sox, and now at the microphone, and he bleeds Red Sox. So, I mean, this is going to be a great year. We can't wait to get started.
You've done everything everywhere. You have World Cups and NCAA championships. And Here you are getting ready for another Red Sox season. Do you still feel the butterflies opening day?
Oh, yeah. Feel them right now. I can't wait to get going for the real thing on Thursday. But, you know, there's another factor, too. This is a good baseball team. And knowing you have a really good chance going into the season, we walk through the clubhouse and see the caliber of players in there now. That really it's more than butterflies. The adrenaline gets pumping.
And for you, it's nice to just talk baseball, right? Bruins are struggling. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to take calls about why some team didn't make March Madness.
I'm so tired of the NFL salary cap. You can just sit there, focus on the Boston Red Sox, and to playoff Dave, too, as well. It's been a long time to where you feel like we have baseball back in October. Yeah. Or when you feel like you got the type of team that if they don't make the postseason, it's a huge disappointment, right? It's been a while since you felt that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to just staying with these guys.
All right, here's to it, guys. Have a great season.
All right.
Thanks, TC.
Ready to go. There are so many great stories to cover over the course of spring training. One of the biggest was the competition for second base. And a lot of people thought Kristian Campbell had the inside track to win the job. Just 22 years old, was the minor league player of the year last season. A meteoric rise through the minors, was at Georgia Tech just a couple years ago. And now we find out, as we were packing up to head to Mexico, that he will be the starting second baseman for the Red Sox. He'll be the 7th starting second baseman on opening day over the last 7 years. Shows you the kind of turnstile they've had at that position. Hoping he can take the position and run with it for years to come. No one is more excited than Kristian Campbell himself. He spoke with reporters here in Mexico as he shared the good news that he had made the club. It's Kristian Campbell on 310 to Left, brought to you by your New England Ford dealers, the official truck of the Boston Red Sox.
What was it like to get the news that you had made the team?
It was a dream come true for sure. It was really exciting. I had to call my family, call my mom, dad, brother, and sister, let everybody know. But it was cool.
What was their reaction?
They were yelling on the phone. They were super excited for me. It's definitely something I've worked for my whole life, so it's really a special moment.
When did Alex tell you?
I found out after the last spring training game. Yeah. After that game. Yeah.
Before you got on the plane,
yes.
Like after the game?
Yes.
What did he tell you? Like, you remember how it went down?
Pretty much, he just asked me about all the different people. Okay, there's a little bit of a backstory behind it. He asked me about all the different guys that play professional baseball that went to Georgia Tech, and he gave me a list of different guys and everything, and he told me that my name would be added to that list. So it was a special moment for sure.
It's not that long ago that you were at Georgia Tech. You know, like we're talking less than 2 years, you were still playing college baseball. Has it set in that that what you've done to go from there to here has kind of been unusual?
Yeah, I think it's different for sure. I guess the summer might be a little unusual, but it's been a great process so far, and they've made it really easy for me and made it comfortable for me. So it's been a great opportunity and a great time so far.
Obviously, you were invited to big league camp, so that tells you, okay, there's an opportunity here. But how was it going through camp and trying to figure, were you at different times trying to make sense of are they gonna have me in the big leagues? Am I going to be in AAA to start the year?
Really, I just took it one day at a time. I mean, from the get-go, the goal was to make the big league roster, and really, honestly, I just took it one day at a time, play one game at a time, focus on what I can focus on, and let the decision do its thing, let them decide what they're gonna do. But they made a decision, so good.
When you look back on camp, you came here with an opportunity. You're here at the end of it, having seized the opportunity. How good does that feel? And when you look back on the work you put in over the last 6-7 weeks, what stands out the most? What was the biggest challenge coming in that you met to make this happen?
Really, I look at it as I've been working my whole life for the moment, so it's not even about the last 6 or 7 weeks, it's about the last 15 years, in my opinion. So it's a really big opportunity for me and my family. It's a really big deal. Coming from Chattanooga, Tennessee, all the way to Boston now. It's a big deal to everybody in my family, so I think that's more important. And so yeah, I mean, camp was camp, and got to talk to a lot of people, learn a lot from a lot of veteran players and a lot from the coaches and staff. but it goes a little bit farther back.
Is there a particular name from Georgia Tech that Alex said that kind of jumped out at you that made you excited to kind of join the list of guys who?
I mean, Tech.
Yeah.
that was a big one. You know, he's the coach here, so Tech was a big one. Yeah.
And how about just what's it like being out of the country for the first time, using your passport?
It was cool. It's cool. I was looking around. Everywhere we go, I kind of just observe what's going on around me and see what it's like in Mexico. I mean, it's my first time here. It's my first time out the country, as you guys know. So it's been really exciting so far. I can't wait to get out here and get going on the field.
Sorry. You try not to daydream much, right, about thinking about what it would be like because you're trying to earn that spot. Now you've got the spot. Have you thought about what it's going to be like to be out there and be part of this on opening day or whenever it is?
I'm going to be super excited. I mean, I can't imagine what it's going to be like. It's the first time at that stadium, at the Ranger Stadium, so it'll be definitely excited. I'll be able to take it in whenever it happens.
How big is the Campbell cheering section going to be?
It's going to be pretty good size, not too many people, but it's definitely going to be my family there, girlfriend, some other family members, so a good amount of people.
And in terms of what you were able to do this spring in order to earn the spot, how do you feel about the trajectory that you're, obviously there was the slow start, but how do you feel about kind of just the direction that your spring was able to go in?
Yeah, smoothing things out. I mean, obviously a rough start, but that's what the spring is for, to get out that little run I was in was important, but really just staying committed and staying focused to the whole journey as we go. I mean, that's really it. It was camp was fun. I mean, overall, I had a really good time, and I'm looking forward to the season now.
Couldn't be happier for Kristian Campbell. He's a charming young man to talk to. Is very, thoughtful in his answers, but clearly so excited to be part of this.
And he should be, right? This is an incredible accomplishment, especially for someone who is a fourth-round draft pick, not an overslot guy, not someone who was like, oh, he's not going to sign unless gets. No, this was a straight fourth-round draft pick who had only played 1 year of college ball at Georgia Tech, who then came and dominated 1 year of minor league baseball, and all of a sudden has kind of just traveled that rocket ship into the big leagues in a path that we aren't used to seeing a lot of.
He was not a top 30 organizational pick in Baseball America last
I
year.
see that you are. That was very.
Who
that was
put
some shade.
That list together?
I had him in 31 through 40.
See, well, that's not bad.
He was on my radar. I will defend myself that way. But it is a testament to his transformation,
right,
which has occurred over the course of very purposeful work over the course of 2 consecutive off seasons in which he was Mr. Perfect Attendance in Fort Myers, both after the 2023 and 2024 season, in order to get very strong and in order to remake his swing in a way that allowed him to stop hitting hard ground balls and instead to be able to just smash line drives and hard fly balls that leave the park.
He bought into the Red Sox plan wholeheartedly, and it's gotten to the major leagues.
Yeah, this is someone who was very open-minded about adapting once he got into pro ball, and he is being rewarded for that and the Red Sox are being rewarded by that too. It's a special player who's able to make the number of transitions that he has in such a short period of time.
All right, one more here, then we head north, and then it begins for real. We're going to do a full season preview coming up in the next edition.
We better, yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm excited for that,
Cover this
for that
team.
episode.
I'm excited for this team. It's
Yeah,
just
I
there's a
think it should-
buzz about it. People are interested. It's been a while since you felt this.
Well, think about how expectations have been reversed. The best way of distilling it is, in the last handful of years, it would have been a surprise for the Red Sox to make the playoffs. This year, it would be a surprise if they didn't.
There you go. And it always surprising with Alex Baer. We'll be back later this week with the 2025 Red Sox season preview. But for now, that's it. How do you give them a wish in Spanish?
Adios.
That's it? Adios from us on 310 to Left, presented by your New England Ford dealers, the official truck of the Red Sox.
Hasta entonces.
Gracias.